So if you can understand this and prioritize this within your e-commerce business, you can grow at least 5 times faster than what you currently are or you thought possible. So this is something that I have used when I co-founded an e-commerce business in 2013 with my brother. We left our corporate jobs. We started a cold pressed juice cleansing company from our kitchen bench. It now has gone on to do multiple 7 figures per year. And over the last couple of years, I've helped over 200 e-commerce brands scale their revenues using strategies like this to their first 10K all the way up to 100K per month as well. So the strategy I'm talking through today, which has been a big contributor to ourselves and our clients' success in the Ecom Blueprint program, our paid community, is something I call proof over promise. Now, I'm going to go through all of the details of what this looks like and how you can do it for your business too. But let me just start by explaining those 2 components. So proof means evidence of how your product has impacted people positively and being able to display that to the general market. The promise is how we actually communicate to our market through our marketing collateral, through what we say, the promise that our product is going to deliver to them to solve their pains and desires. And so it's proven that the proof side of things over our promise is far more trusted to our potential customers and our eventual customers than just saying how good we are. Okay, we should be, convicted as ecom brand founders or product providers that yes, we have the best quality, yes, we have the best product because of X, Y, Z. And we can talk about that all day long until the cows come home, okay? And to be honest with you, because everybody is saying that and marketing that way, it falls on deaf ears and loses its currency. Whereas if you can display proof, meaning evidence coming from other people, other customers, past customers, that is 10 times more powerful than us saying how good we are if someone else can say how good we are. And it's actually said, research shows that 90% of people will look at reviews and look for social proof before they go and make a purchasing decision. Just let that sit for a minute about how important the proof over the promise actually is and how we need to prioritize getting proof, because not enough ecom entrepreneurs actually prioritize it. They're like, yep, I get a couple of reviews that come through every now and then, and that's pretty cool, and look how happy everyone is. But if you knew, like what I'm talking about in this video, how important and how powerful it can be for that next purchaser coming through the door, you would and will prioritize it. So that's what I want you to get out of this video, because 9 times out of 10, people are going to be looking at your review, at your proof, before they go and purchase. And I just want you to hammer this home. I just want you to think about your own behavior as a customer when you go to a restaurant or a cafe, or you go and buy a product from Amazon or hopefully someone else's Shopify store to support that business. You're going to be looking at reviews and past experiences, just hands down. So why us as business owners do we think that our customers are not doing the same thing, right? It's crazy when you think about it in that literal context. So the reason that the proof over the promise is so important, okay? If we are the cheapest, if we say we're the best quality, if we say we've got the best deal, that is still gonna be more diluted than someone that has the actual 1,000 5-star reviews, or someone has got the evidence to say that your product has helped them and that next person should buy it too. It's so much more powerful. In fact, it's even poles apart your promise and the effectiveness of the proof. So when we talk about the proof side of things, the obvious thing to go to gravitate towards is, of course, reviews. And that is a massive component, absolutely. Okay, and we'll go through some of the methods as well later in this video, but think about it like someone else is giving you content as the business and it's come from something like a review having used your product, for example. We can also go into, user-generated content and other people other than you displaying and talking about your product. So when it's displayed, let's just talk about that and where it can obviously be most effective. Again, we typically think about our website. So you should have something like a reviews app that plugs in, something like judge.me or Yotpo. There's a lot of different reviews apps, but that should plug directly into your website so that it's displayed there. Now you can also have review platforms on, say, Google, on your socials like Facebook, for example, but we want it to be really evident about where people can find this proof and display it as much as possible on as many different platforms. The other really important thing with proof is to, again, display it on as many platforms that you possibly can in your marketing collateral. So that includes email campaigns and email flows, SMS. It talks about, within your website, plug it in certain places as well. So if you've got the email automations happening, you can also put it as a stagnant quotation with 5 stars next to your actual product description, just under the title and the price there before they go and add to cart. So displaying it and putting it in as many people's faces as possible is really, really, really important. If you've got significant amount of reviews, you should be saying how many reviews you've got. If you've haven't got that many reviews, but you've served a lot of of customers, you should be saying, we've got 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 happy customers. And you should be saying that as often as possible on as many different platforms as possible. So where you display these reviews is going to be everything. We can't assume that someone's going to go to your reviews tab and just hammer down and have a look at everything. No. We want to put it in their faces at as many opportunities as possible, whether they've bought before, and especially if they have not bought before, to create that herd mentality, that FOMO effect. And in fact, what we've found, and this is with some clients in our Ecom Blueprint community, we've had a couple of people say that when they do, put up on a story or a post someone's happy review, they coincidentally, I would say not coincidentally, but they happen to get people that fill out more reviews that come through, right? It's almost like the past customers want to be displayed on that business's socials, for example, whether it's supporting small to medium businesses or whatever it might be, but it's more of a consciousness of, hey, I've just shown someone else's review, they had a great time. Oh, that just triggered me to actually go and fill out that review I was supposed to do. So it feeds in upon itself. It's this snowball effect. Once you get the wheels turning, get some momentum with it, it should compound and compound and compound. But getting off the start line, getting those first, I would say 500 to 1,000 reviews, it is a slow wheel to turn, but that's something we need to prioritize so that we can expedite it because of the impact that it has on people's buying decisions. So here are some principles that you can abide by when you're prioritizing getting more social proof. One is to make it as frictionless as possible. Data suggests that 5% of people will fill out, say, a reviews email or something they get sent to review your product. 5%, that's 1 in 20 actual customers. That's crazy low when we think about it. Okay, so if you can bump that up by another 5%, 10%, you're already beating, say, the market, but trying to maximize as much feedback you can possibly get. So one way to do this is to make it as frictionless as possible. Automate the process where possible. Pre-fill any forms as much as possible. Less and less barriers that someone can do it, you're gonna get way better results and more submissions. A second thing is to follow up. So don't think that just because an app sends them an email once for a review that they're gonna do it. As I mentioned, 5% is actually a good rate of submission. But if you can double or triple or quadruple the communication, the follow-up around that, whether it's automated or manual, you'll have a much higher submission rate, right? Stacking. It's not annoying people, it's just reminding people. Again, think about your own consumer behavior. We have good intentions to fill out a review for someone that we really liked or a product that we got a lot of value from, and we just never end up doing it, okay? But if you got a reminder once, twice, 3 times, you probably would do it and you probably wouldn't be any more annoyed by it either, right? So we want to be able to follow up unapologetically because we know the value in it. We're so unlikely to piss off a customer, but we are much more likely to get a review successfully submitted. Recent proof is much more effective than old proof, okay? So again, when we prioritize this, we want to make sure that we're keeping it consistent so that we can continually have recent proof. That's something, again, myself as a consumer will look at. Look at the reviews, how long ago were they? A day, a week? If it's anything over than a month, you're kind of like, are these guys still in business? Are they still doing the right thing? Are they still, morally obligated to serve their customers the way that they had been? It's really important that this is what goes through people's mind when they make purchasing decisions. So recent proof over old proof is massively compelling. If you can, make it as visually as possible. Okay, so when it comes to getting reviews, right, or social proof, of course, written is the obvious one. But if you can get images of the person with their product in their environment using it, if you can get videos of the end result, more and more powerful, right? The different ways that we can display the social proof is really important because typically as human beings, we go for the path of least resistance. We'd rather watch a video over seeing an image. We'd rather see an image over actually reading something. Okay, so the more ways that you can display this in different contexts is going to be more beneficial. So looking at strategies to maximize these in that hierarchy is going to serve you and be much more effective and become more profitable by making more sales. So volume matters also, right? So volume of reviews, social proof. Okay, again, visually, yes, absolutely important, but let's just talk about number of reviews. Are you going to buy from someone that is the cheapest, that say, meaning they promise that they're the best and they're going to deliver, right? With 1 review or no reviews? Or are you going to buy from the person that has 1,000 reviews that might be more expensive and might have other things that, are cons in comparison to the other product? You're going to buy from the one that has 1,000 reviews because of that proof. It's just trust. Okay, so again, make sure that you understand that the volume matters, the volume impacts on people's purchasing decisions. The amount of calls that we used to get early on in our cold press juice company to say, you guys actually legit business? Are you in business? And is this a scam? Was mind-blowing, honestly. Like, it was unbelievable. But this is how people think, and it's because of past experiences, because of bad past experiences, that they need to check these things. So that's where volume of reviews will just immediately help people make purchasing decisions. So please prioritize volume. Don't just be satisfied with the 5%. You need to bump it up and get as much as you possibly can in different contexts, such as the written and the visual. And of course, as I said before, display them everywhere. You got them on site, okay, that could be automated, but copy and paste them. Have static reviews and social proof everywhere possible. Socials, emails, email flows, just anywhere. We always put a review, a new one, a recent one, we always put it in the email campaigns that we send out, just to create more relatability. People wouldn't know even if it was the same review, honestly, but we just have the volume coming through, and we've got 5,000 5-star reviews at this point that we can just keep updating, and it's different resonance every single time, right? I tried this cleanse because it was, and I had a great results. I lost weight. I feel fresher. I've done one before. Like, you don't know the people's circumstances people in, but that's where you split test between the resonance of what situation people in, right? It's all about relatability and resonance. This customer was in this position before they bought your product. It solved this problem. Now I feel like this. That's every part of the journey. Ours is very obvious because it's health, right? And they come into it for weight loss and clearer skin and reduced bloating, that sort of stuff. So there's tangible results there, but everybody is going to have that with their product. You must get good at communicating that as well. So a little tip here is to go through your own funnel, okay? If you've got reviews set up, if you've got things set up already and things are automated, go through it, because I recently went through a client's reviews funnel, let's call it, like basically their process, and some links were broken. They were like, I'm not getting as many reviews through. It's like, okay, cool. So I bought their product and I went through it and I reviewed it, and I was like, I can't click anywhere. This doesn't go anywhere. It goes to a 404 on their website. So make sure you're testing it to make sure that everything is working properly. This is probably really standard for every process, or even email throughout your business as well, is just to make sure you're continually testing, make sure things aren't broken. So that's just a bit of a tip there in a recent example of a client that we helped out. Okay, so how do you actually get more social proof? Automations is really key. So having apps, having email flows going, even SMS to remind people. It's really important that you can, automate these things, because especially as you get more sales through the door, you don't want to be manually doing things. So start with the automations, get that going, put it into your, as I say, your app, where you basically are able to email people after a certain day they ordered, and then put it into your email flows as well. Now you can also set reminders through those flows, all right? But having things as automated as possible is really, really important. And then that obviously pushes to your site, and you can grab that and put it on your social, put it in your emails, etc. A second thing is to incentivize. So we want to bump that 5% up as much as possible. So sure, experiment with cashbacks or discounts on the next order, but try out other things too, like even just the emotional side of things. We had a client, Kirk, in the community who does about 80K a month himself right now. He sells chair caps and tips, right? So not very sexy product, but what he did was he was able to emotionally ask people and say, hey, show us your beautiful furniture, show us your setup, show us this, and it happened to have his product within the image or the video. And it was really effective in getting that type of content back and reviews back, because people wanted to show off their beautiful furniture, okay? The purpose that they bought his products for. So it was the byproduct. So find ways to incentivize people and find ways to emotionally attach to it. So again, another example there is you can talk about the statistics of how little people actually review products, okay, and how much it helps small and medium-sized businesses. You can appeal to their emotional side. That was a really good thing that one of our clients implemented, and it immediately shot up their review rate. You can also run competitions here. So again, incentivize, but you say, hey, if you've purchased in the last 12 months, fill out a review and go into a competition to win $500 worth of products or cash or whatever you want to do. That's a really, really effective way to get masses in through the door in a really quick succession, right? And also you can add some more strings. So it's like it has to be an image, has to be a video. You can work out the parameters there, but competitions work incredibly well to get a mass influx of reviews. Use your DMs and comments, right? If you get DMs and comments about how good your product is, just use them. Use the screenshots. Use them for social proofing anywhere you can possibly display them, right? Even ask permission and say, hey, can you actually put it on our website, right? These are really, really important. Don't be stuck with, I need to automate it and send one email and then that's my review and hopefully everything works out and whatever. We need to push these things as hard as we can. Okay, there's no rules in how much you can do in terms of the volume. In fact, the more volume you do, the better, the more volume you actually get. So one of those principles was volume counts. So don't hold back on what you can possibly do to get as much proof as possible. Another cool tip that we found too is promoting like a customer of the month, for example. And that customer of the month must have filled out a review and then they get like a bit of a prize. So you can promote that to your database, you can promote it to your socials, and that will encourage people and almost have a bit of fun with it, right? Gamify it. It's like, hey, this person filled out this review. Here they go. Here's a $200 voucher to our store. And, to enter for anyone next time is to fill out a great review with an image or a video, and off you go. Similar to the competitions, but you can just run that on, rinse and repeat. So to come full circle here, you want to firstly understand the importance of proof. Okay, proof over promise. We can promise all day long. It's going to fall mostly on deaf ears if we can't back it up. Okay, so in those early days of you starting a business, of course you're going to have to promise, but you need to work just as hard on the proof side of things as well, right? Do everything that you possibly can, whether it's manual or automated, to get as much proof through the door, because that will build. It'll feed into the promise and they'll both compound over time. But the speed at which you can grow your business is going to be directly determined by the number of customers you get through the door and the amount of proof that you can accumulate right there, right? One feeds into the other. Okay, so you're not deprioritizing sales for this fact. In fact, by prioritizing this, you'll actually get more perpetual sales, either from those people themselves or them talking to other people, or just it will feed into your direct marketing, as I just mentioned. So really important to prioritize this. And you can actually put an ROI on these efforts, right? If you're giving cashbacks, if you're giving incentives, if you're running competitions, put an ROI on that proof, okay? You know that when people send you information or send you reviews, that will directly impact on more marketing and directly impact on more sales that you can send out in the form of reviews and user-generated content, even putting that into ads, right? Hugely valuable. If you have some user-generated content, some social proof that you can put in an ad, it makes you $1 million, super high ROI. And we've had plenty of ads and pieces of content through emails, through ads that have done directly that, okay? So that's coming full circle, proof over promise. I can't emphasize that enough. I hope this video is helpful. If you want to know how we help e-commerce businesses scale to their first 10K up to 100K per month, there's a link below. You can click on that, get a bit more information. And if you like this video, if you found it valuable, please give it a like, give it a subscribe. I'm creating videos like this all the time, and I want to know exactly if these are helpful and obviously how I can help you with other topics surrounding e-commerce and scaling your e-commerce store. So other than that, thanks for being here. I genuinely appreciate you watching till the end, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.